He was the minister of the Midway, a carnival priest who held services on bumper cars and in show tents. For 50 years, and on too many fairgrounds to count, the Reverend John Vakulskis tended to an ever-changing flock of carnival workers. He called it "My Parish on Wheels." His work began mostly after midnight, when the crowds had left the Midway, the lights had been dimmed, and the growl of generators ruffled the silence. On the streets of New Haven, Connecticut, Margaret Holloway was known as the Shakespeare Lady, a tall, striking woman in ragged clothing who recited dramatic monologues for spare change. Many regarded Ms. Holloway as an eccentric local fixture. In the view of some business owners, she was a public nuisance. But for those who knew her personal history, her life had tragic dimensions not unlike the material she performed. Ms. Holloway was a 1980 graduate of the Yale School of Drama and a once promising director, playwright, and actor. Her career was cut short by mental illness and drug addiction. One day in 1987, Nita Pippins received a call from her only child, Nick, a 33-year-old actor in Manhattan who was dying of AIDS. "It's time," he told her. Ms. Pippins, a retired nurse living in Pensacola, Florida, moved to New York to care for her son. She saw many others fall sick and die, and by the time her son died in 1990, Ms. Pippins had been transformed. She dedicated herself to AIDS causes as a parent who had been there. For men estranged from their families, she became a replacement mother, sometimes holding their hands at the end. Abraham Vega and Rachel Curry first met as photographers covering high school football games in Tahoka, Texas. They eventually went their separate ways, married, had 2 children each, and divorced. Then it was time for a second chapter. Mr. Vega and Ms. Curry reunited in 2017 and married the following year in what seemed like a storybook beginning. By then, Mr. Vega was sheriff of Lynn County in Northwest Texas, Lynn's first Hispanic sheriff. He wasn't the chase-him-down kind of police officer, Ms. Vega said. He had a servant's heart, and that's what made him a peace officer. Ellis Marsalis was a pianist and educator who became the guiding force behind a late 20th century resurgence in jazz while putting 4 musician sons on a path to prominent careers. Mr. Marsalis spent decades as a working musician and teacher in New Orleans before his eldest sons, Wynton and Branford, gained national fame in the early 1980s, embodying a fresh-faced revival of traditional jazz.